Hi, my name is Lynn, and welcome back to my channel, Nourish Your Crown, where we share resources, information, and encouragement to support you on your hair journey. After being diagnosed with CCCA and early scarring alopecia, I decided that I wanted to take a holistic approach to treatment, which includes nutrition, supplementation, movement, self-care, and on occasion, medication. It's an up and down journey, and I'm sharing everything that I'm learning and hope that it encourages and supports you too. If you're looking for this type of content, please hit the like and subscribe button, and then also be sure to share it with any friends or family members who might also be on the same journey. So today I'm sharing a few fun facts or facts about me, also giving a quick hair update, and then I have an exciting new resource that I want to share with you. So let's get started. First, for the updates. So I did my last hair update in January, and at the time, if I recall correctly, I was kind of coming out of a post-COVID hair situation, which triggered some more loss. And so now we're 5 months later, and there's some progress. I mean, if I have a picture, I'll try to put a picture of where I was, but plus my hair kind of shrinks a lot. But anyway, so there's some progress. The spots are all, you'll see there, all the spots are filled in, and in the back as well. I don't think of it, but I do keep it trimmed a little bit. And so interestingly though, I had a scenario just a couple weeks ago. I was traveling for work and I had the most tender spot pop up again, right in the same kind of the spot where I guess the spot that's kind of, I want to say it's the anchor spot that kind of triggers everything, but it got so tender, like it was tender to the touch. And so of course I was like, here we go again, something about to happen. But I had so much going on at the time. I didn't have time to like go down a rabbit hole of despair at this point. But I was like, okay, so once I get back home, put the topical medication, topical steroid on there, and then we'll just keep it moving. And so that was about 2 weeks ago. So last week, like I did it every other day. Like I put some of the topical steroid on it a couple times last week, and the tenderness completely went away. So I'm not sure if something was about to start. I don't know what the process was. I just kind of stayed alert to see, did I start to see a lot more shedding happening, or was this about to trigger something else? So as of right now, everything is status quo. So we'll keep it at that. So it is growing. Like I said, I've gotten it cut a couple times, maybe once or twice I've gotten it trimmed, just because I want some kind of shape. So I'm ready to get some more shape again, so it might get cut again. But that's where we are with it. Plus, I'm excited to share, let me calm down, we have this new Nourish Your Crown daily wellness journal. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit further on in the video, but stay tuned for that. Make sure you watch the whole thing so you can hear all about this and see how you can grab your copy. So a couple months ago, I was talking with someone and they were like, you should share more information just about who you are and your background. Because I have done, I think it's about 44 videos so far, and I've shared sort of parts of my story within those videos, but thought it might be interesting to do like a fun facts or just to give some more insight, I guess a little bit more to my story, and would love to hear about yours as well. So comment away. I would love to hear about your story, your personality, what you love to do, what you like to read, all the type of stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to share is a quote that I saw on a site early on when I started recording these videos. And it sums up a little bit, big picture about even why I started this channel. And here's the quote, and here's the website. And it's a woman her name is Lynn. She created this website about gluten-free bread, I think it is, but I heard someone talk about it on a podcast about how a lot of her foods are anti-inflammatory. And then I was like, well, let me look at her website. When I saw this statement that she believes a trial can also be a gift, I also believe the same thing. And this hair journey is somewhat of a trial. And then, of course, that her name was Lynn. I was like, okay, this really encapsulates some of why I do what I do. And so I just thought I'd share that. Another part that I think of, just again, some more of the backstory about the channel and why I did this. Like I remember thinking recently too, like, why would I put my bald head on the internet, right? So But there are a couple of reasons why I chose to disclose this way. Number one was because I shared with God that if He chose to show me what to do, that I would I would share it with others. And once I started seeing some remission happen, better numbers in the blood work and the things that where I was being directed based upon the things that I was reading and learning, I was like, well, let me share it. The other thing is that this is the type of content that I was so desperate for when I was just starting. Now, I feel like in the last couple of years, there have been so many people talking about this. I don't know whether it's because the algorithm has brought them to me now, but there are a lot of more people talking about it. There's a lot more inquiry into what alopecia is and all the different types of alopecia. There's a lot more. There are a lot more resources out there. So I just want to contribute sort of part of my experience to all the things that are out there to help us. And another sort of core part of this is that early on, when I was talking to someone about like, do I do a channel? Do I not do a channel? And consistently trying to figure out like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, I have my job, I have kids, I got my husband. Like, are there other areas, or what do you want me to do? And the idea was like, well, you have this trial, you're walking through it, share it with others. And then of course the next question becomes, who would even want to look at this? Why would I put it out there? And what if this isn't what I should be doing? And the next thought was, but what if it is? Right. And so that's when I was like, okay. Okay. So it's a whole walk of faith. I don't know. It's not like I was sat down saying, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this. I don't know. I'm literally taking it one video at a time, one step at a time, and just trusting God that if this is a part of the good work that He planned for me to do, like He says that in Ephesians, there's a good work that each one of us, He set aside for us to do. This might be part of it, for the story. So I'm just excited to share what I'm learning, because it's all reflecting back to Him, His goodness, His provision, His healing, and we're also building a community in the process. Okay, that was longer than I expected, but anyway, let's keep going. So, okay, some fun facts about me. So, Where am I from? I'm from Philadelphia, PA, originally born. Yes, I'm an Eagles fan. And I've also lived in Northern Virginia, Southern California, and then I moved back to Pennsylvania, and now I currently live in the first state, Delaware, in the United States. My parents live about 5 minutes away, which is also a huge blessing. And my kids, I have one at home, one in Washington, D.C., one also 5 minutes away. And that leads me to my family. So I'm married to a wonderful man, and I have three adult children. I just talked about them a little bit, and we actually are a blended family. So we are coming up on our 13-year anniversary at the end of this month, and so I could do a whole channel on the joys and challenges of blending a family and just the what it I don't can't say what it takes, but just the staying power that's needed to so you can see the things through. Our kids are doing well. We're blessed, and we're still taking it one day at a time. So just grateful and thankful for my family. I also have a brother who lives in Louisiana with his wife and my sister-in-law, sister in love, and then my I have a sister, a younger sister. I'm the oldest, that lives in Texas, and she has three kids, and she's about to have her fourth. So that's my family. Got tons of cousins. Well, not tons actually. Actually, I do have a lot of cousins that are all over the region, and in other parts of the country. And let's see here. Okay, so as you know, I'm a middle-aged woman, and navigating through what they used to call back in the day the change, right? So that's again also probably a whole nother channel. But okay, so education. So I have a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership and a master's degree in nonprofit management, and then I'm currently working on my doctorate in educational leadership. Fact, I was going back to my sort of the last several years. Um, I ended up taking the long route to get my bachelor's degree because I was a single mom and all the stuff that goes along with that. So working full time, going to school part time, full time, part time, really to get both my undergraduate degree and my master's degree. And now I am pursuing my doctorate. I have 4 classes left, y'all, and then I'll write for about a year. So I'll keep you posted on that. I also work in higher education at the institution here in the state of Delaware. I work in career development, and my background is in higher education, career development, talent acquisition, recruiting, and the nonprofit space. I love connecting people to resources and opportunities. And so if I think about my career, that's kind of the through line. Whether I was working in nonprofit, whether I was working at the various departments within higher ed, it's still a connecting. I still feel like I try to be a connector, right? Understand what's out there and then help make the connection. And it's even with the YouTube, it's like, or this channel, it's like I'm learning, I'm sharing, and then I'm trying to connect you all to resources and information. So I also love strategy, leadership development, professional development. I read all the books, listen to all the podcasts. I love that kind of stuff, and I love to see other people soar. Right? I enjoy seeing other people step into their greatness and achieve the things that they want to achieve. So it's a little bit about my work background. So let's talk about personality. There are obviously many facets of our personality. I'll share just one interesting fact about me. So y'all know the story of Mary and Martha in the Bible. And so Martha tends to be the person that's always doing and she's taking care of everything. And Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet, and Jesus is like, when Martha goes to Jesus and says like, "Hello, do you not see me trying to do all these things? And why don't you tell her to help me?" And then Jesus goes on to say, Mary just figured out what's most important. I tend to be Martha. I got big Martha energy, right? So me and Martha are probably like this. And so that's probably why, even when you see the post, when I talk about ending hurry and rest and slowing down, it's literally a part of my journey right now. Like, I want to slow down. I want to live a life that is life giving and not life draining for a lot of reasons. And so I'm learning to move into more of the Mary space. So the other thing is I love to travel. I mean, I guess like many people, it's like going in to see other places, meet new people, try new foods, try new things. So I've traveled to a lot of places within the United States, not so much outside of the United States. So I've been to Jamaica years ago with my best friend. And then in 2015 and in 2018, I had the opportunity to travel to Germany and France as a Fulbright scholar. And so that was really interesting. It was a a lot of learning going on, going to that part of the world. And I also have like a whole list of places that I really want to go at some point. So, and I thought about this. This is y'all should know me by now. Like anyway. This is a crazy thought. Like, there are about 40 countries represented on this channel of women from all over the world that are watching. Wouldn't it be cool? I would love to be able to travel to all of those countries and sit down with y'all and have a conversation over a delicious anti-inflammatory meal. And then also traveling through the United States just to meet everybody and just to connect and share and just support one another. So anyway, everybody that's watching, you're on my bucket list of places where I want to travel. And so that's that. So the other thing about me is I love to read. There are books by my bed, by my sofa, by my desks at home and at the office. I read all kinds of books. Spiritual life books are a lot of the ones that I tend to lean into, and then professional development and personal development. But now, in the last few years, I'm really tapping into just health, right, and learning more about health and the things that we can do to encourage healing in our bodies. And so the other thing I meant to say this too. So this is give you, when I say there's books everywhere, when I say there are books everywhere, here are a couple here. This is just at my thing here. I can't even lift the stack. There's a stack about here as well. So I tend to pick and choose. I'm learning to focus more on one at a time, but I think books are like a comfort for me too. Um, so the other thing that I love is journals. And I've been trying to be more consistent with journaling. And so I've journaled over the years. For example, I pulled these out of my closet, right? So this journal is from 1992. That was the year my oldest son was born. So I kept a lot of things in this journal, a lot of things in this journal. And I tend to, sometimes I do off and on again. Like I don't journal every single day or the long form, because there's a long form journal. These are what I would consider long form journals. So these are my thoughts, my prayers, my requests. This one is from 1997. So when I tell y'all I journal, I'm telling you the truth, right? And then this one, where's this one? And I have another one too that I'm working on right now. This is from 2017. So then I have another one also. And there are some gaps in the years, but I love the process of journaling. I'm actually going to do a video coming up that talks about sort of the science around the benefit of journaling and how it can help us reduce stress even. So I like a long form journal, which is more like this, but I also have been trying to find what I would call a wellness journal, right? Something that I could use to track my wellness journey. And so I picked up, I got one for a gift one time. It was okay. Then I had another one, but it didn't have all the things that I was looking for at the time. And so I decided to create one for me and for us. So this is our Nourish Your Crown Wellness Journal. So the journal includes a space to write a daily affirmation. You can track your water, you can track your exercise, you can practice gratitude. There's also a space for thoughts and reflections. It's, I think, an approachable tool, so it's not overwhelming. I don't think it's overwhelming, but where you can just use it and use it as you see fit, and then you can go back. And there's about 90 days, 3 months worth of days that you can write in here, and it could be a really good tool if you're not already journaling to go back and really start to see if you see trends, see if you see things that are consistent, that are helping you, or vice versa. So I encourage you, please go take a look. I would love for you to grab a copy, grab one for yourself, grab one for your friend or your family, and let me know how it works. I'm always going to be open to feedback, and it's a creative process for me as well as making it a practical tool. So would love to hear from you about it. So the other thing that I love to do is cook, whether it's creating a meal or a drink or baking. I don't do as much baking as anyway, I like to bake. And fun, nerdy fact about me is I like to read cookbooks for fun. So, for example, I have these three cookbooks that are sitting right here. They're on by my sofa that I thumb through because I just like to read. I like to hear and see what's out there. This actually is one, it's an anti-inflammatory cookbook. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to zoom in on it. But this is one that I'm going to try some recipes out too. And I was thinking about this, like, what is the thing about the food thing? And I was going back, and I really think that I think it starts with my grandmother, right? My grandmother was a woman, she's still alive. She's older. She's pretty sick right now, but I think her love language is food. She cooked meals for us when we all lived in the same city in the same area. Every Sunday she would have Sunday dinner there, and I just enjoyed, number one, her food, but I saw it as I got older. That's really how she loved us, right? She loved us a lot of other ways, but I know food again was her love language. And she would just sit. When she was cooking, and we'd all come for like a holiday She would just sit and watch everybody as we're eating, right? And so there's something just comforting about that, where it's just been a blessing. The other thing too is, like, I used to watch. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and I used to watch like Julia Child reruns. And to this day, like, if you looked at my watch history, most of my watch history is on the Food Network. There's just something about it. And so I decided as I got older, I'm just going to enjoy it. If that's what I like to do, I'm going to enjoy it and pursue it. And speaking of pursuing, I followed this one TikToker, and she's a food influencer. I think she's a food developer, a recipe developer, but she does amazing recipes. And so I've been trying a lot of her recipes. And a couple months ago, she was doing a call for recipe testers to test recipes for her upcoming book. And I got selected to be a recipe tester because I sent her, like, anyway, I got selected and I got to do that. So that was really fun. And the other piece that I think about when it comes to food, like, this is, I'm going to give you a high level overview. This is how my brain works sometimes. So it's like, okay, when God created the earth, He had literally had already given everything in it, right, for us to have what we needed when it came to food, right? Food of the earth came from the earth. Then of course Eve did her thing, Adam did his thing, yada yada yada. But then I also think, Jesus's first documented miracle in the Bible was around wine, right, and um, food and drink. And then I also think, like, hmm, there's going to be a big wedding feast down the road as well. Anyway, all these things to think about, like, and I also think about the scripture in Psalms when he says he prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And I think about the enemies that we're dealing with on this journey, right? So the enemies of doubt and fear and sickness and inflammation and shame. And when I'm fully conscious and aware and paying attention as I'm making these meals, as I'm making these drinks, I get that. I get that, like, this is God preparing a table before us in the presence of all these things that He's given us that can help us on this healing journey. And so, um, yeah, that's that. The other thing is that I love to be creative. And if I were to go back maybe 10, 15 years ago, I used to say, I'm not creative. I'm not creative. I would literally say it out of my mouth. I don't have creativity. I'm not creative. And one day I was like, stop saying that. Stop saying that you're not creative. Everybody has something to contribute in terms of being creative. It doesn't mean that everybody's an artist or everybody's a musician. We all were literally created to create in ways that are unique to us. And so, number one, I stopped myself from saying it. But secondly, I just started looking at all the ways that I could be creative. Maybe I'm not a free form hand artist, but I can certainly color. Cooking is creative. Working with math can be creative. Like, there's so many other ways that we can be creative. I used to play the piano. I was classically trained. I haven't done that in years, something I might want to tap back into as I get a little older. But I do like to create. This channel is actually even an example of that. Like, I'm still a rookie at this, but I had no idea how to edit, the audio, the thumbnail, all that kind of stuff. But it actually has become a fun, creative journey. I do want to say a quick little thing too. So there are many of you who might be watching who have a story to tell, who have a gift to share, who um, have a message to share. I would encourage you, if you're not already doing so, to think about it, pray about it. And if you're interested, um, maybe it's time for you to start a YouTube channel, right? So there's the place where I'm learning a lot of the things is through, it's called Think Media, and they do a lot of free challenges and free webinars and videos. But I would encourage you, if you are thinking about creating and jumping into the YouTube space, this might very well be your time. So I would encourage you to think about creating, and just take the next step, whatever that is for you. Okay, so those are a few things about me. I would love to read about you, share your story, or what you want to share in the comment section. Um, don't forget to pick up a copy of your Nourish Your Crown journal. Live well, live blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.